It's recording now. Hi, today I'm welcoming Sergio Serrano. I hope I pronounced your name right.
Yes, it's perfect. Thanks. No problem.
I researched it. How to pronounce it. Well, Sergio here is a civil engineer and he has international work experience in multiple countries: France, Colombia, Spain, Chile, Belgium, Switzerland. And if that was not impressive, for last 1.5 year, he went into financial investment and he's managing portfolios of investment. Plus, he also speaks 5 languages: France, Catalan, Espanol, English, Portuguese. So he had a very, very impressive profile. And I met him through Toastmaster International when I was in my quest, or still in my quest, of financial IQ and EQ. So, without further ado, I will welcome him and really jump straight into my question, like what brought this change, Sergio, from civil engineering to this business and financial investment? What motivated you?
Okay. Thanks a lot, Naomi, for inviting me to your podcast and your YouTube channel. It's an honor to be invited. Okay. So going down to the topic, yeah. It's actually all came because civil engineering has had a big problem in the last few years where the demand for engineers has gone down a lot because of having developed loads of the civil engineering needed in the developed countries, and the underdeveloped countries, which are the ones that need the most civil engineering works done, are very unstable economically and also with their different different they all have their different problems and issues, yeah. So seeing that the market wasn't good for me, I saw that the actual real thing that comes to everyone's problem is we all need money in the end. We need to develop whatever we can to be able to be able to live. Okay, so we all need money every day to do whatever we need. We need money to eat, money to live, and that's what made me become very interested in all this investment and entrepreneurship world. Yeah, I actually wanted to start a business for loads of years before. My goal, or my one of my dreams, was to own my own civil engineering business, which I don't, which I am not eliminating from my future goals. And that took a few years of processing, where I was gaining experience as an engineer and learning how the businesses worked, working for other people. And then I got to the point where I wasn't learning what I was expecting to learn. So that's the whole thing. If you're working for someone else, you must be learning there, not just exchanging time for money and not feeling complete, or not feeling that you're growing. So I saw all this potential there is in all the financial part of the world. So that's why I jumped over, and I'm not actually eliminating this part of my civil engineering career. I am simply adapting and also doing it at the same time. I also do some civil engineering works, but it's true that what what's the most um, um, gratifying or productive right now is having all this these streams, developing these streams of income with all this financial and starting businesses uh, way of living right now.
Yeah, that's like I have to inform my listeners because I personally came to you for financial advice. And in the beginning of while introducing you, I told about financial IQ. So we have all the Tony Robbins, uh, the Robert Kiyosaki, and Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett to give us financial advices. Then there is Ramit Shetty and other people who also talk about the emotional quotient of it. So there are a lot of financial knowledge available out there, and I have read all of them, and I also have a business background. But even then, we have a fear in our mind when it comes to finance and investment. And I feel when we I am discussing with you, that fear kind of gets over and it's relatable, and you give instruments or tools to actually get it started. So hence when I was talking to you about my own financial investment, it kind of occurred to me like that gap which is there, it needs to be bridged. Like there are people who should come into who are starting out, who are actually practically implementing it. Like I have a consulting career, but I'm doing this on the side of it because I'm very, very curious or interested in learning, and that's where it's relatable. And I personally feel like with a lot of young professionals and entrepreneurs out there, it will be much more relatable rather than in going for an example of billionaires or millionaires out there, which seems very, very out of reach. It's it's nice to listen to their inspirational video, but it feels very out of reach. So hence here I was getting your advice, and I thought why not I actually bring that advice to you, that relatable advice to my listeners as well, who are just trying to start, who already are in that mindset of moving towards financial independence, or even they are not trying to start a business. We all can do with financial advice. So, with the COVID 19 economy, it's not only civil engineering, the entire industry, global economy, it's facing a lot of challenges. For example, industry or hospitality industries are getting impacted massively. In UK, we are in lockdown. So, what do you advise? What do you advise to someone who is like some basic tips or advice to us young professionals or entrepreneurs to overcome that fear and start with a fresh mind, because most of the times we are very scared of not able to pay our bills. That's a very, very inner script which we have. I come from a middle class working family where you have been taught you work hard, you get a job, you get your bill pays, pay your tax, and save a little bit of money. That's about very simplistic one way street, but which should not be the case. So over to you.
Okay, well, my advice for now, this COVID-19 post crisis period, first of all, out of everything is get out of debt. So if you owe any money to anyone, if you take care of that if you can, of course. Okay. Then my second advice would be developing habits that are going to let you have this go towards this financial independence or freedom. Okay, so one of the most important habits we must acquire here is the habit of reading every day, reading about all these financial tips, and also reading all types of things that help you develop these habits. Okay, then these habits will make you have good financial habits. Yeah, and for example, if you read The Richest Man in Babylon, for example, there there you'll get taught that everyone must at least save 10% of their income. Always, always save it and keep 10% of their income as a minimum. That's the basics. Okay. Then, apart from that, for all this post-COVID economy, it is actually in the biggest crises where the biggest wealth is created. Why is that? Because people who are ready, who have developed these habits and that are ready to take these risks and are ready mentally to just jump in, it's like the sales for them. It's the sales in all types of businesses, in all types of investments. Yeah, they all go, loads of things lose value because lots of people are selling. And then it's the moment to just buy cheap. And then those things will grow in value. And that will be a perfect and perfect way of creating wealth for this crisis. Yeah. So I definitely recommend learning and very looking into what you're going to invest in. You have to really understand what you're going to invest in, not just do whatever, because that hires the risk. Okay. So you can have a wide range of portfolio of investments that will give you different streams of income and let you have this feeling of, okay, if one of these doesn't work, at least I've got the others. And you don't have this problem that majority of people have, which is they only depend on one stream of income.
Yes.
So if that one finishes, they panic. Of course, it's a normal thing. Yeah. So I would go. I personally go from a very low risk and low interest or low so low profitability, which would be real estate, which is something very tangible that you can see and touch, and then go to a wide range to a very high risk and very very profitable investments. Okay. Of course, with the high risk, you tend to invest less money, yeah, because it makes you have all this equilibrium, yeah. Okay. So the high risks investments I work with are with cryptocurrencies, because they are moving the highest volatility and the highest well, if you talk about trading, they're moving the highest pips, okay, or and giving the highest income and revenue after that. Yeah. So that would be my advice for these young entrepreneurs or young investors who are not taking this jump. Yeah. You must really read and develop the habit of saving and investing. You should really be take notice and very informed about what you're going to invest in, and really understand it. Okay, and just keep in mind this basics. One of these basics, which is the 10% saving at least 10% of whatever income you receive. And then if you want to go further, the more you save or the more you invest, well, the better, of course. But remember what Robert Kiyosaki said. He says, always pay yourself first, and then pay whatever that you need to pay or whatever. That would be that for that part.
Yes, I have so many questions on that. The first one will I'll ask when you say read a little bit about the industry. For example, personally, I was interested in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. That's the one thing I came to you for. So
Hmm.
is there like, but there are also a traditional way of investment, and you said read regularly over it. So for me, was going to Udemy and learn a course. That's why I did it. I didn't do the regular reading thing, which I probably should start. So what will be the sources? What are the like? I know there are multiple sources out there, but what are the things you follow? Like, is there a website or any news
Okay.
or webinar, whatever you follow daily reading, like 5-10 minutes thing?
Okay. Yeah. Well, one of the I use various streams of information. So I use books related with the topic, depending if you invest in cryptocurrencies or in precisely Bitcoin in cryptocurrencies or Ethereum or whatever cryptocurrency. So you have books related to this. There are lots of books. I actually know some books, but they're in Spanish because I'm half Spanish. And but then I also use a school, an academy that shows me and updates me daily with experts that have got all the time of experience that cryptocurrencies have existed. Well, they are following the market and following how the cryptocurrencies have evolved, and I take lots of notice of them with paying for this academy every month. Okay, and also, yeah, videos. You have information. But you have to make sure that the information is comes from a
Source.
and good source. Yeah, because there are so many things over there that you can easily be misinformed. Yeah, and yeah, so uh, I do use I do use sources of information which I am very sure about what the people are talking about are experts in, and they are and I have proof of them having that experience and knowing it, and they have that authority and that social proof of it.
Okay, and so do you have the like? I probably will take the link of the school afterwards our chat and then share it in my show notes if anyone really wants to enlist themselves there and they can go ahead and find it out. Thanks for
Okay.
that. And in terms of since we mentioned about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, so there is a lot of buzz in terms of this digital technologies or transformation coming up and blockchain being one of the disruptive technology which had came in last decade, I will say, which is impacting health, telecom, and finance, particularly, at least according to my research or whatever industry trend I keep up with. These three industry are massively impacted. Since our topic is towards finance, so what are the 2 or 4 trends? Because there are a lot of fear in terms of because it's not regulated as the traditional investment. There is a lot of theory and space for speculation in this Bitcoin cryptocurrency bit, which kind of first people are scared to invest. But if you still say invest in gold and property, even though they are very, very traditional, and in many cases it may or may not work depending on where they're coming from, isn't it? It's geographical specific or which economy you are or which year of the economy. It's like for 2008 economy, real estate was not a good investment. And gold do inflate, like the inflation rates of gold actually goes up even though gold is valuable. So those are the factors which are there, but still people will be more likely towards going towards that because they are like hundreds and hundreds of years traditional way of investing. So what are the 2 to 4 trends you see can people can actually look into? Or I can also reframe my question: is there any industry myth which is you probably people come across and you think no, no, it's not true? Like what's your thoughts on that?
Okay. So Digital transformation is a fact. Yeah, that's
Yes.
it's here, and we have to adapt to it, or if not, we're lost. Yeah, like what Bill Gates said: if your business is not on the internet, then your business will be out of business. Yeah, so all this digital trend we have to look in. I'm looking into um, closely into digital currencies, and more even specifically into Bitcoin. Yeah, because Bitcoin started in 2009, and it has a limited number of coins that are going to be mined in its life. So this is going to be anti-inflationist. Yeah. So as we've seen, when it started, it cost cents, and now it's actually today it's $16,000. Yeah.
So
And
one Bitcoin is $16,000.
yeah, well, that's today at this time. But 2 days ago, it got to its historical maximum that it achieved in 2018, and that's close to $20,000. Okay, so we could say that Bitcoin is actually the new gold. Why is that? Because Bitcoin is it's got a limited amount, like gold, which is very difficult to obtain new gold mines. Yeah, very limited. But Bitcoin has its 21 million as a maximum, but it's much easier to move than gold. So that's why so many people are investing in Bitcoin, because they can, any person in the world that has a phone on them can invest in Bitcoin, even if you don't have a bank account. Okay, anyone can have it, even a little kid in Africa, or whatever person in the world can actually own Bitcoin, and anyone in the world can give Bitcoin to another person instantly, not depending on anyone, on any banks, or on any centralized system. This is why it's also has so many people who are um, who are liking it and investing in it day by day. We're more than 30 million users already who own Bitcoin. Okay, so the next few years, according to studying the history of Bitcoin and predicting what's going to become, this 16,000, 19,000 number is ridiculously small compared to what it's predicted to be. So if we know about this now, when it's still cheap, and we own some already, that will mean that in a few years, when it can get to prices like 1 million, 100,000, $1 million for one Bitcoin, okay, when it attains those prices, if we've been here and got some already now, that will make us have this financial freedom instantly. Yeah, if we sell it when it's at that price. Yeah, but it is said by the experts in cryptocurrency and and financial advisors that everyone should have at least 1% of their whole economy, of their own whole economy, 1% in Bitcoin. Okay, so this is a really small percent. So because it does have big risk anyway, even if it's getting more stable and more stable every day, and more people are trusting Bitcoin. But it can, as well as it can go to a million, it can go down and have no value in a few years. That's why you can't put all your money in it, because you have this chance of being a millionaire, crypto millionaire, or having nothing. Yeah. But but lots of people that work in the markets, in traditional markets like forex and foreign exchange and all these traditional markets and stock markets. Lots of them, lots of these traders or investors are changing to cryptocurrencies because they see the potential it has. If you learn how it's moving and how it's and can predict what it's going to do, you're working with something that's going to give you much more and going to gain loads of value. Yeah, which, as opposed to working with traditional traditional currencies where the inflation is making them lose value every day. So that's why so many people are actually changing or opening their portfolio to also having cryptocurrencies. Yeah. And the second thing I'm looking into, apart from digital currencies and cryptocurrencies in detail, is lots of types of online businesses, because investing in online businesses is exactly what what you have to do if you want a business. So I actually own my own. I own a few franchises, but I own my own um, real estate management and investment company, and we do everything online except for the actual refurbishments or buildings or whatever. But we also are opening a department which is 100% online, with workers that work for us completely online, where we have a plus, an extra added value for all our clients that we have in the business, which is all the house owners and apartment owners we have, which is adding them all the basic needs we need in a building, in a house, that we all need, that we are paying month by month, every month. And it's all these basic needs. We have a good deal with a company that gets us lower prices in all of these areas. So we're saying, okay, why are we only going to focus on our clients and our real estate management or business? Let's expand the department to the rest of the people, so we can get cheaper basic needs that are paid every month for everyone. Yeah. And this is one of the things I'm really looking into too, because online business is the present right now. We've seen it with COVID.
Yes.
All companies that were resisting not having people go home and work from home and all that, they have to do it right now. All the companies and businesses that can work from home. Yeah. And so yeah, that's what I'm developing. Various businesses that are completely online, as well as in our real estate business, we're preparing this a business where we can have investors from all around the world invest in our properties or and add value to our properties that we do with the refurbishment to then sell them or rent them. And they, after investing, they can get a percentage of each of these things. If it's a rental, they get a percentage monthly, and if it's a sale, they get a percentage of the sale. And we're doing this 100% online, and I want to adapt it so that people can also invest with cryptocurrencies, so that anyone in the world can do it. Anyone whatsoever in whatever place can invest in this real estate. So it's joining the scary cryptocurrencies, I don't know, with the safest
Tangible real estate,
tangible.
crypto Like you are
Yeah,
bringing both of them together at once.
yeah, that's it. That's
So,
it. Yeah.
so is like, what's your name of your business? Like, I will.
My business is called Ingenio Habitat. So it's more of a Spanish name, but so it's like uh, it's a mix with engineering or genius habitat. Yeah, and that's our business, and that's what we're developing. So it's one of the things I'm looking into too. Yeah, so online 100% businesses and investing in the assets that are going to give you the highest value in least time. That's which is would be Bitcoin. Yeah.
So if you, I heard you saying that, like in the beginning, at least 1% of your investment portfolio or whatever money you have for investment, put 1% in Bitcoin, right? So like because the risk factor of it's high, but the return factor is high as well. And the second thing, you are actually building your online business based on real estate and amalgamating the bit, like people who are into cryptocurrency can actually invest in your business through that. It's online, available for all. So is it for like the Spain locations to start with, or it's like everyone anywhere in the world can start investing? How does it work?
Well, we still have to look into all the legal issues and matters, but the idea is for everyone to be able to do it. So for a person from Argentina or a person from China and all that, they can, with using a smart contract,
Yep.
using a smart contract, they can simply invest in our company with cryptos. Yeah, so that's what we're developing it. We still haven't launched it because it takes time and money. Okay, but that's one of my highest um, like investments and things I'm looking into. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And I think you have to come back to my show again once it's launched. And that's the beauty of it. Like that's what I want to bring to my listener. Like as I was saying in the beginning, you hear people who are already established, but you hardly hear the stories when someone is actually growing that business. Step one, two, three, four. You don't get to know that. You get to know the ultimate success story once it's in the magazine, which is great. But I feel more such stories, especially in a COVID-19 economy. Like this call wouldn't have happened if pandemic was not there. Because with the magic of internet, you are joining from Spain. I'm from like take hosting it from UK. So the entire model had changed throughout the world. So with all the bad it has done, this is one of the. I am from IT background. I'm into IT consulting. I'm engineering as well. So I probably am geeking out on the technology part of it very, very much, apart from the finance, which I'm trying to learn. So just to segue away from the topic a little bit, what are like, are there any influential people in your life which kind of motivates you or you go to? Because we hear a lot about mentorship or people in our life, like personally it can be a friend, mother, or a girlfriend, a spouse, partner, siblings, anything, who influences you more. Or it can be just a mentor like Robert Kiyosaki, who we read about. What are those two, three people in your life? Or it can be more if you have 10.
Okay. Well, me actually, I spent more than 10 years wanting to build a business, but I never got round to doing it. I always postponed it and uh, got got just not doing it. And I discovered, okay, this isn't. I'm not doing it, and why aren't I just starting? Why aren't I doing it? And I discovered that you have to change your habits towards a way of wanting and taking action. So the person who taught me this is a boy or a man who's called Euge Oyer. Okay, He's an entrepreneur from Spain, and he owns the biggest online entrepreneur school for Spanish-speaking people in the world. And he simply helped me with this, with the first steps, which are he has a set of 30 audios, which you listen to one every day, to change your mind completely and make you take action. And to develop these habits, you have to develop to be able to have the strength and the mood and whatever it takes to be able to take this action and do it, and take the risk, or take the and just try it and do it. Yeah? So Roger would be the person who got me to do it, but also another person who really influenced me in my life for wanting to have my own business is my dad, because he owns his own business. He's owned it for the last 40 years, and it's a civil engineering business. And I actually studied civil engineering to take over the company and be owner of a company that already existed. And that was my initial plan. With all this crisis and all these changes in tendencies and economy, I can't do that yet. So because there's not enough work, it's not a business that's profitable right now. So that's the second person who really influenced me. And then after that, I have a few mentors who are actually people who I imagine to be with and speaking with, but they are mentors for loads of people. Yeah, I've got Robert Kiyosaki, which he taught me. Which, if you just imagine speaking to him and seeing what he would say to you and what he'd recommend, that's tremendous value you get from him. Also, I've got as a mentor, I've got Tony Robbins, who's impacts me. I've got Bob Proctor. He's also a big name in all the personal development because these people, if you actually talk to them or actually say, okay, what would he do in this situation? He's being your mentor there. He's being your mentor. Or you would go there and see what he says in his book about that. He's being a mentor for you there. So those would be the two first ones of people who are really focused on those people. But the third one would be all these big people who've done so much and given so much value to the world and helped me and help millions of people develop themselves and develop their businesses.
Oh, that's brilliant. And since you talked about Robert Kiyosaki and Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, and such, so they have a lot of books. I have read few of them. What are the books for them you have read or like reread? Like I have read Rich Dad and Poor Dad, but I am going to reread it again because I think what I get from it now is quite different from what I used to get when I have read it years back when I was a child. So what
Exactly, yeah.
books name you like are your like top five you kind of suggest to go like anyone trying to build that financial influence or mindset should go and read according to you?
Okay, so definitely these books change your life, can actually change it completely. And the one you were saying, yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he gets you. He just really explains it in the best way and the simplest way how the world works and how economy works. So for personal finance and for real estate, Rich Dad Poor Dad is incredible. And then I would go for Atomic Habits, which is a way from James Clear. Okay, so this is, he lets you and makes you adopt the best habits you need to be able to grow faster and eliminate the bad ones. Gives you all these little tricks, loads of tricks to know how to develop them and get these, attain these habits and install them. Because it's not only about changing a habit, it's about keeping it and making it be a real habit. Yeah. Then I would go for the magic of thinking big. Okay. So from James Schwartz, he talks about Tony Robbins in it. Okay, so the story of Tony Robbins in it, and this is absolutely really good for setting your goals, setting your values, learning how the brain actually works. This book is actually a book that loads of psychologists were skeptical about at the beginning, but then loads of them, it's just incredible for them too if they actually get to believe it and read what it's about. Okay, then another book I really recommend for any entrepreneur who's starting and who hasn't developed any of the high income skills or anything yet is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Ah,
Yeah, but by
classic.
Dale Carnegie. Yeah. So anyone in the world or any entrepreneur actually needs money to create more money. So needs money to be able to create a business. So maybe the entrepreneur doesn't have all the money that's required, but with these good skills, he can actually get the money for the investment. It's not only about the money, but it's having this, knowing how to have a good relationship with everyone or with people who you have most interest in having good relationship with. Yeah. And then I would go for Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Okay, because you don't really actually have to know how you're going to do it. You don't have to know, oh, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps you need to take. You have to know exactly what you want, how you feel, how you feel when you've got it. So having an exact knowledge of what you want and having a burning desire to achieve it, because this makes you do all the actions necessary to get it. You don't really need, you have to focus on what you want and not on how you're going to get what you want. If you focus on how you're going to get what you want, you don't really know. You're focusing on that, like, and you're worried, or you're saying, oh no, how am I going to do this? I don't know how to do it, and there you're losing your focus. Yeah. So this is one of the big ones, big tricks to how it's worked for loads of people who've had success. Yeah. So all these books are a must to for any entrepreneur, and I think. Okay.
I mean, that's amazing. I was like, oh my God, I never discussed about books with you on our different separate conversation, but all the books you listed, okay, I am interested in financial investment. That's why I'm talking to you. But my line of interest as per business, it's very different. But I literally have read all of them, and it's actually helping me in my line as well. So because those are the mindset tool. And today morning, like when I kind of get ready before my work, I kind of switch on some financial recently, because the finance is one of the habit I'm trying to incorporate. So I kind of like, I just type in YouTube finance mindset, like etc. And one thing which came out today was Ken Honda and his concept of arigato, like say thank you to money, how you see money, basically the emotional relationship with your money, apart from the IQ part of it, which probably the Tony Robbins and rest of the people are there who are like teaching that. So I'm just reading. I think you will enjoy it. Just give it a try. And I another book I found, like I completed last week, is for Mindset by Carol Deck. It kind of talks about various relationship, and it's like a classic psychological book of actually of building habits and mindset. I will list out all the books. These are classics. And Dale Carnegie's How to Make Friends and Influence People is my favorite. One day I was traveling in a train reading that. You get very interesting conversation with people around, like when they see you reading it, and if they're not aware of it, it had been there for years, but they will ask you very interesting question.
Yeah, and this is one of those books that in the same book he says it. He says you must read this book once a month, and it's one of these books that every time you remember something that you need to you really need to do, and you're not practicing really. As well as what you said before with Rich Dad Poor Dad, when you read it again, you can be a completely different person. It can bring you completely different or new things to your life. Yeah, because one of the examples they said what we have is these people that say, have you read How to Win Friends and Influence People? Oh yeah, I read it 30 years ago. Okay, well, you know what? They've changed a few things and made it new and that. So they've made a new version of it. Oh yeah, have they? Okay, so read it right now again. And he says, oh yeah, yeah, it was completely different. Yeah, and they hadn't really changed it at all. But it's true. It depending on how in your moment on your page in the book in your of your life, you you acquire some information or another, and you use it in one way or another.
Oh, I love it. I love it because there are so many similarities, and it's like, it's so much of a personal interest to me. So I'm just enjoying this just chat in general. Just me. Okay, there are other people also think the same and have the similar structure of thinking while trying to pursue something. So yes, I will link it in my show notes, and you have to send me your friend's name and if he's available online, because I definitely cannot pronounce his name or write it down. So you have to send me that link. So for my listeners, if anyone is interested, they can go and check online. So I will link all the books name and the resources in the show notes, both in YouTube and
Great.
podcast. And yours as well, obviously. I know you're available on LinkedIn. Are there any medium people can reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and then also on YouTube. I don't have too many videos yet. But yeah, so Instagram, I'm called Surging the World on Instagram, and I've also got a Facebook page for that. And yeah, that's my social medias. Well, I'm also on TikTok, but yeah, I'm not so active on that.
I will just get all your links from you over the message, and then I will paste it on the show notes so that everyone can reach whoever is looking into it, and they should look into it because these are the where the steps are available for people to start. People who are in position of starting point, that initiation, they should look into this sort of conversation or this sort of suggestions. I completely believe in that. I mean, it had been incredible talking to you, but before kind of wrapping up, I'm just like curious if you have a mission statement in life and business. And I'm just throwing it at you as a curveball, but just take a moment and say if you have a mission statement you want to convey to the world, personally, professionally, what it will be.
Okay, so my actual mission is to help or make the majority